Morning, I swear a lot.
It is 12:22 in the PM, and you're watching The Foreman, or listening, I suppose. I'm your host, Foreman, and at time of recording, it's my birthday, and on the time that this video will likely go up, my birthday would have been yesterday, and you guys would have at least noticed a 3-hour and 40-minute Ruiner video went up, which is absurd. I won't spoil anything involved with that video, so if you're not caught up on Ruiner, don't worry about it. Like, you're not going to get spoiled here, but to give you guys some context, I recorded that video, right, obviously. What I mean to say is, I recorded it initially on the 7th, and I recorded for about 4 hours, and I didn't get to do what I needed to do in order to finish that video and actually start editing it, as it were. I didn't record enough to edit. I did not achieve what I needed to achieve in order to make that a video. So the next day, I tried again. And 3.5 hours later, recording time, I finally managed to achieve what I needed to achieve in order to make that a video. I then had to edit 7.5 hours of footage. So, to give you, once again, let's wrap this, let's count this up. On the first recording day, 4 hours. That's 4 hours recording. Second recording day, I started at about 12 p.m., 11 a.m., give or take. 3.5 hours of recording, and then I spent literally, as soon as I finished recording, I started editing. And I did not finish until 2 o'clock in the morning of my birthday, actually, funnily enough, earlier today. What time is it now? It was 12, yeah, it's 12 like I said. 10 hours ago, I had just finished editing that video and went to sleep. Since then, I've woken up, putting away a dog food delivery, and I'm still awaiting that video even actually finishing uploading because it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. I'm hoping to God that YouTube is not going to screw me over on the processing, because if it does, it might not go up today. I really hope it does, but I don't know. But like, this sounds like a bunch of complaining. This sounds like a bunch of whinging. But the reality is that it isn't. I was actually happy to do all of that stuff. In fact, I wanted to. I wanted to do all that stuff because it allowed me to enjoy my birthday, as I currently am. It's only 12, I've got the rest of the day yet. But it's allowing me to enjoy it relatively guilt-free. I'm doing this now because I kind of wanted something to go up tomorrow, but at the same time, I didn't want to put too much work in after the upwards of 12 hours of editing, or work basically I did, not just editing, over 12 hours of work I did on the last video. I wanted something a little easier to produce, something a little easier to fill the slot, but I will mention that I'm hanging out with friends Friday night and Saturday night, which means I'm basically taking the weekend off from video making for my birthday. I don't think any of you would begrudge me that, you're a good bunch, but I figure it's worth at least mentioning it in some capacity. I know not everyone watches Foreman Talks, but, well, you know, I might make a community post or something as well alongside this video just so you guys know what's going on. But it's been nice. It's been nice. Turning 29's been alright. I'm 29, by the way. It's been, I mean, to be fair, today all I've done is work, because we had a massive dog food delivery. I have 11 dogs, and they require a lot of food, and they have a raw meat diet, so we get, like, 26 boxes of meat that need to be put into freezers, and I had to do that today in the snow, because for some reason on my birthday it decided to start snowing. Actually, last night it started snowing, and then today I walked outside to a sheet of snow outside, which I had to do that work in, which was a bit of a drag. I have Reynolds syndrome, which for those of you who don't know, first of all, don't worry, it's not a serious condition, or at least it's not in my case. And second of all, to actually explain what it is, it's a condition where the circulation in your body is a bit inefficient, I suppose, and typically leads to lower temperatures in your extremities, like your hands and toes. My feet are fine, I guess. I wear socks all the time, and I have decent shoes, I think probably because, yeah, I think I've worn thin shoes when I was younger and my feet used to get really cold, so now I wear proper shoes and boots and stuff like that. I wear thick footwear with decent socks, so my feet never get cold, but my hands is a different story. These packs of meat arrive frozen. Of course they do, because if they don't, they'd start to go off, which means when I was putting this food away, even through the thick gloves I was wearing, because it was cold outside, my hands started to go numb. and then my hands started to hurt a lot. Like, it was really painful. Feels like that proper nerve damage from too much cold. It feels really bad when it's happening. But I managed to power through it, and then after a while, my hands just weren't cold at all. It's a weird thing where it's like, you know, you typically get through the cold in most cases if you're working or whatever by just working, because the physical exertion warms you up. But the problem with the hand thing is that, yes, that exertion does eventually warm your hands up, but there was a solid half an hour to 45 minutes where my hands were just numb and in agonizing pain. It was so bad. But I was listening to Millie tracks the whole time, because I guess over the course of 40 Ruiner videos, I've come to really appreciate Millie as a band. And the track that everyone knows from part 40 of the Ruiner series, which I'm once again really not spoiling, but if I can, but those of you who know, that track's really good, and I've listened to it multiple times. And then, you know, there's Iron Lotus, and From a Place of Love, and I See No, Hear No More, which one? The See, Hear No Crying Children, whatever. And of course, the intro song, which I actually can't remember the name of right now. That's annoying. I do know the name, I just can't remember it. But it was a nice soundtrack. It kept me positive. Children of the City, of course, that's a bop. That's a real bop. That was just enjoyable. But I got it done, and I felt good about getting it done as well. And my new jacket that I got for my birthday has arrived today. Real nice jacket. I like it. It looks like Leon's from Resident Evil 4, which is always it's Leon's a stylish guy, especially in Resident Evil 4. So I was happy to get that jacket. I'm looking forward to showing it off to my friends. Wasn't a very expensive jacket, so it'll probably break within a week, but it still looks nice. I like it. You might have noticed I'm waffling a bit, and that's purely because I didn't really want to come into today with any real topic in mind. Like I said, it's intended to be a bit more of a relaxed, talky video, and I don't know, I just wanted to chat, I just wanted to talk, generally speak about what I've been doing, how I've been feeling, stuff and all that. It's been pretty good, to be honest. I started playing Darktide recently, Warhammer 40k Darktide, and I love that game. Oh my god, I love that game. And I feel kind of bad, because I've been playing, I played a session, as it were, with someone from the Discord, and we had a lot of fun. It was great. I've always enjoyed playing with that person, because they like a lot of the same stuff I do, so we play, like, Total Warhammer and stuff like that. It's always fun. And we were playing Darktide, and we're having a great time, just, like, discovering this new game, and then one of the mission types, and we both thought this was really cool as well as really terrifying and somewhat unfair, is that one of the mission types is just called the power's out, and it just means there's no lighting. And neither he nor I had flashlights on our weapons, so we couldn't fucking see, which means heretics and demons of Nurgle were just jumping out at us from the darkness, and we were like, it was a proper tactical experience. It was really cool. I feel bad because since he and I have played, I don't think he's played much. I've played a fucking ton of Darktide. I've played a fuck ton of Darktide. All the free time I've had, which has not been much, granted, but the free time I've had in between making videos and settling everything else I need to do in my daily life has been spent playing Darktide, barring one occasion where I played Total Warhammer with Frosty. But other than that, it's been Darktide the whole time, and I fucking love Darktide. And now I can see the problems with it, and I can see a big one immediately. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Darktide is a perfect game, because it's not. And the cosmetic microtransactions are a bit shit, because there aren't a lot of cosmetic options if you aren't willing to do that. There are some, I've gotten some, for instance, but there's not tons, which is a bit of a downer. But one of the problems I think I have with Darktide at the moment is that there's not a lot to do, really. Like, DRG, there's not actually that much to do in Deep Rock Galactic, but it feels like there's more, at the very least. And Vermintide has the Chaos Wastes, which really does make that game a lot more interesting, and it's already a pretty good game. I really like Vermintide. I definitely had a fixation period on that, and I'm having an ongoing fixation period with all Warhammer and Warhammer 40k stuff, because I love the setting, and just how the characters are, and just how the world is. So I can look past this, because I just enjoy the gameplay of Darktide so much, but yeah, it's definitely like, I'm playing it, and I'm like, I think I've experienced everything. I think I experienced everything before I got halfway to the level cap. All the different kinds of bosses, there aren't many. All the mission types, there's a fair few, but not that many. And I've kind of had the first time experience of every possible experience I could have in the game, which is depressing because I would love just more. I want more. I want more playing a Warhammer 40k character because it's very enjoyable. I love playing as my guardsman. But this hasn't stopped me playing because I enjoy the gameplay so much, and the soundtrack is a fucking banger. Imperial Advance is a brilliant track, and I could fight 50 people if I was listening to that in IRL. I would lose, of course I would, but I'd feel like I could. I feel like I could fight them. But I've enjoyed playing Darkside, especially I think because I've chosen a loadout that is not good, but I really like, and I've gone Las Pistol and Combat Knife. Which, iffy. It has its advantages. It definitely has its advantages, but it's iffy. The Las Pistol lacks power, though it makes up for it with low recoil, especially on the move, fast movement speed, a decent rate of fire, and an ungodly amount of ammunition. The Combat Knife is good at hitting weak points, but bad at dealing with hordes. And if you don't do a charged attack, it's not really good at dealing with big targets either. But the knife is really fun to use. Your character flips and twirls it in his hand, going between a forehand and backhand grip. And it's just really fun and makes fights feel really dynamic when you're fending off heretics with a knife. Feels incredible. And the way your character uses the Las Pistol makes you feel like future sci-fi John Wick, which is just really good. It's really fun. There are much better weapons. I would recommend the Combat Sword over the Combat Blade any fucking day, and the Power Sword probably trumps them both. And I haven't really used the Chain Sword and Chain Axe, but I bet they're even better. And as for guns, well, immediately a las gun is a good shout because it has the same benefits as a las pistol, but you're a little bit slower, but it's more accurate if you're standing still. More damage per shot. There are different variations of las gun as well. The standard Cantriel model has a flashlight on it, so if you go into a mission where you can't see anything, yeah, that's pretty useful to have. And I'm not even talking about the other guns. Auto guns are exceptionally powerful and versatile. Bolters, you can get a bolt gun if you just want people to fuck off. I've used a bolt gun, the power. Oh, the power. And my bolt gun was underpowered for where I was in the game, and I was just tearing through things. Priority targets went down in an instant. Easy. But that thing is cumbersome. Swapping to it, you don't just swap to it, you heft it up and then you have an animation where you sort of pull a thing back on it. All of this in service of the fact that it's supposed to be slow and cumbersome. That's the downside of the bolter. And ammo is scarce, of course. All guns are supposed to have a positive and a negative, as it were. But yeah, the Combat Knife and Las Pistol definitely feel like they have not the most drawbacks, but just that they're not as strong as other weapons, definitely. But the increase to stamina and speed is great. I'm a very fast-moving character. I can block and push and dodge a lot. So it encourages you to get good, because if you get good, you'll get a lot out of it, and it feels very satisfying. But oh boy, is it tough. I love the Las Pistol. It's a great gun. I love Las weapons. I love playing a game where I can use those. It's great. I've come to the realization, ironic given what I'm about to talk about, that through playing Ruiner, in my entire experience of Ruiner, and bearing in mind that's 40 videos now, and I want to say around 150 hours of gameplay, very minimal amounts of which have been done off camera, that's mostly on camera, 150 hours, I struggle to think of any point in Ruiner that has not been good. Right, like LobCorp had severe ups and downs, but Ruiner has been a consistently enjoyable experience. There have been some off things, right? I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but like certain abnormalities, for instance, were not fun. They were just not fun to deal with. But overall, it's been such a solid and enjoyable experience. Which has been so strange following on from LobCorp, which was like, you suffer because you love it kind of situation, where it's like, I love LobCorp, but man, do I fucking hate playing it. It was a weird one. And those last days can fuck themselves, seriously, but it's just strange. But in that essence, I guess this is stuff I should actually save for the finale, but I guess I can talk about it more when I've actually beaten Ruiner. LobCorp still felt like a more gratifying experience because I had to wade through so much crap to get to the end. It was such a struggle, such a monumental amount of suffering to actually beat that game. And the funny thing is, I got off fairly lightly in terms of the suffering I experienced at that game. I think I got through it quicker than quite a few people do. Not because I'm in some way skilled or good at this sort of thing, but I think in many cases I just got lucky, or I just achieved the right mindset for a particular day quicker than someone else did. And I had people be like, hey, maybe you might want to try this instead. I had some advice to work off of, and I guess the same is for Ruiner. Maybe I'd be struggling more with Ruiner if people hadn't offered some advice. But I feel like I could have figured out Ruiner. I honestly, if I went back to LobCorp right now, I reckon it would take me roughly as long to beat it as it did before. Maybe quicker because I know what a lot of the abnormalities do, but I don't have all that information off the top of my head. I'd have to rediscover some of that. Like, there's like 86 fucking abnormalities or something stupid like that? No, if I went back to LobCorp, that would be a rough experience, and one we should probably do in the future, but I have no plans to do it in the nearby future, so don't hold your breath on that one. But I think I'll do it someday, for sure. But times like this, and I think even yesterday when I was like barely able to stay awake, still trying to edit through the remaining footage of part 40, are moments that remind me how satisfying it is to do this and how much I enjoy it. Because I imagine, I think you can figure out for yourselves, I'd have to like this line of work quite a lot to be working from 12 p.m. until 2 a.m., which is more than 12 hours on one video. Right, clearly I enjoy it a bit, at least a bit. At least I take some fun in it. I am concerned, though, at the moment that I'm getting a bit overwhelmed in terms of ongoing games and series. You know, Ruiner's nearly done, and that's great, but I want to do more Darktide because I love Darktide. I also want to finish Hollow Knight. We're still doing Hollow Knight, and Hollow Knight needs to be completed. I've got a Total Warhammer 3 series that no one cares about, but I still want to keep going with because it's important to me. Hand of Fate 2, I've done one video on that so far, and I fully intend to do more because it was so enjoyable and interesting. Once Ruiner is over, I've got a series lined up and ready to go to follow up on it, which is not PM focused, but I think people will enjoy nonetheless. I still want to do a video on Limbus, and I want to do that relatively soon after I've beaten Ruiner, because I want... Many people have said that Limbus does not really lend itself to an ongoing series or videos, as it were, and I do believe them, but I would want to at least capture my first impressions of Limbus on camera and then decide if I want to do anything more with it or how I'm going to approach that or anything along those lines. I'd at least like to do that, have it on the channel, be like, hey, we experienced Limbus Company for the first time together. And because I didn't play it on release, some of the problems might be fixed by the time I play it, so, you know, it's good to not always jump on a new release as soon as it arrives. Yes, Slay the Spire, the Ruiner mod. I definitely want to play that. That's probably going to be a couple videos because the LobCorp one was a couple videos. And of course, there are probably Ruiner mods for other games. I need to get around to Frostpunk at some point. I desperately want to. People have been asking for Terraria again, and I suppose I should... I mean, I like Terraria, so it's not like a sacrifice on my part, but I should get around to that at some point. I've got a lot on my plate and I'm not sure what to tackle first, and none of these things I really wanted to delay, even though it may well be necessary. I'm going to have to pick and choose what I'm going to go with. But at the very least, not putting up a Ruiner video every other day will allow some of these series to start coming up more frequently and moving a little faster. But it comes with the downside, of course, that Ruiner was the only thing that not everyone, but almost everyone on this show, on this channel, wanted to see, and it will be gone. It will be gone. And I've talked about this a million times before, so I don't feel the need to wax lyrical too much about it now, but I'm curious to see how many people continue to stick around once Ruiner is over, or if they just wander off to find someone else who's going through Ruiner for the first time, or just going through Ruiner again, or is playing Ruiner mods, which Ruiner mods say I might go to eventually, but nah, I'm not going to rush on that. A break from Ruiner would be nice. And I bet, because I know what people are like, and I know what Ruiner players are like, some of these modded encounters are probably fucking horrible. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of difficulty. So, not really looking forward to doing that. As most of the comments I've seen about the... Let's see, how can I phrase this without being spoilery? The receptions of the past few videos, nudge nudge wink wink, most people have complained that they were too easy. So I'm worried about what the mods would bring if they consider those to be too easy. Because yeah, I dealt with them. I'm not going to say how well or how poorly, but they weren't exactly pushovers. So yeah, that worries me. And I'm not sure if I want to bang my head against another ruinous-shaped wall just yet. Maybe give myself a little while first to bang my head against some different walls, like Hollow Knight, for instance, which has a very Fallen Champion-shaped wall that I have not yet continued to bang my head against. That's something I'm going to have to deal with. But despite all these, like, a lot of the time it sounds like complaints, and maybe they are in a sense, but it's more just me venting things that are on my mind rather than actually properly being upset or complaining about them. I still do these things. I still want to do these things. I still make a point to want to do these things, and I still enjoy them very much because I love doing this show. It is baffling. It is amazing. It is incredible for me, I guess, to think about how different things are from what they were when I turned 28. How much things have changed. How much I've changed. How much happier I am. How much better I am. Once again, like, I've always been a strong proponent of the idea that typically, you know, barring the onset of old age and stuff that comes along with that, typically we all get better every year that we're alive. You get smarter, you get more experience. In your earlier years, I suppose, you're getting stronger and stronger. I would honestly say I'm the strongest now I've ever been in my life. 21, around 28, maybe 23. It's supposed to be your peak. The prime of your health, as it were. But I'd say now, at 29, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm more active than I've ever been. I do more than I've ever done before in my life. And I think that can be the case for anyone. It's not unique to me. I am, and this is not a high bar, the coolest version of myself that has ever existed. I think it is. Maybe that speaks to how uncool I am, that I think I am this is currently the coolest version of me that I could possibly be, but I'm happiest with me as I am now. And this birthday does not come with any kind of concern or sad. Like, there's always the concern about watching your age number go up. Of course there is. But beyond that, there's nothing. No concerns, really. I'm not like, oh man, time's ticking away. I'm like, well, it's another year. It's gonna fucking come. I've got work to do. I don't really want to worry about this too much. Got other stuff to focus my minds on. My minds? Yeah, more than one. Yeah, totally. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night for the aforementioned reasons. But it's like, I don't know. I look around myself and I'm like, what more do I really need? I've got the channel going in a direction that I've always wanted it to go to, and it's finally going in that direction. I have proper, solid, strong, supportive friends around me. I have a loving family. I have 11 dogs. Like, I don't know, it's hard to be down about things when you have that. I'm a very lucky man. I've waded through shit in my youth. Of course I have. I've struggled with depression to extreme degrees. I've struggled with myself on many occasions for various reasons. Is it worse than other people's experiences? Is it better than other people's experiences? I don't know. It doesn't really matter either. You come to me and say, Foreman, I bet my life was worse than yours. I'll be like, yeah, probably. I don't know. It's not really a contest. Misery, suffering, and misery have never been a contest. But it's gratifying to be here now, after wading through shit, after spending ungodly amounts of time working on videos for literally no benefit whatsoever. Only because I hoped that someday it would. And because I enjoyed performing. To now finally be in a place where, I mean, like, Darktide and Dawn of Fate 2, Hand of Fate 2, beg your pardon, didn't get that much response, but it still got a response. That's the key difference. And that's the key, I think, in the importance in remembering where you fucking came from when it comes to this shit. Way back when, I was getting nothing from videos. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But now, I put up Hand of Fate 2. Yeah, like only 300 people watched it or so, but some of those people seemed to enjoy it. Some of those people requested more videos. Some people were like, wow, this was fun. Like, oh, this is crazy. Oh, this was a good video, blah, blah, blah. And people, I was playing Darktide the other day, right? And this is actually a moment that truly hit me, as it were. I was playing Darktide, and I actually decided to do a level 1 mission, because I was like, it's late and I'm going to go to bed soon, so I'll just do an easy mission. Because I'm way too high level for it, and just, you know, just shoot some stuff. I like my challenges, but I was tired, so let's do an easier one. And some guy, or girl, I don't know who they are in real life, but we'll say guy as a gender-neutral term here. Some guy showed up in the mission, like it's drop-in, so they replaced one of the bots that I had spawned with, and was like, and we were playing for a little bit, and then in the chat he was like, are you a YouTuber? Are you on YouTube? And I was like, yeah, I'm a small YouTuber, because I am. I was like, yeah, I'm a small YouTuber. And he was like, yeah, I saw your video, I really liked it. And I'm like, someone on the internet just fucking recognized me? It's never happened. I've never just been doing something in a game and had someone be like, are you a YouTuber? It's never happened. Ever. Now, that's not surprising. I only have a following of about 3,000, which is nothing compared to the grand scope of the world, or indeed the online community of any game. But they knew who I was. They had watched my video and were like, I really liked it. I hope you make more. And we just had a nice game together. You know, playing fucking Darktide. It was an easy mission, but even easy missions get a little hectic every now and then, so it was still pretty fun, and they were cool. I think they were a psyker, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were a psyker. They were a higher level than me, in fact, actually. So they must have been having a similar situation as me, where it was like late or something, and they just decided to run an easy mission, and they just so happened to turn up in my game, which was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. But my point, to bring it back, is that even doing a video on Darktide, which most of you guys were not into, which is okay, absolutely okay. You're not all into 40k, and I can understand why someone would not be into 40k. But the point is, a video like that, which does not get the same presence as, say, Ruiner, people still watch it. It's still being watched. You guys, some of you are still watching them. They still get seen. It's not like there's no value to doing that video just because it doesn't hit the same numbers as Ruiner. People are still enjoying it. And people are still like, oh, I'd like to see more of this. Oh, this was fun. I'm glad you did this. Compared to back in the day when I got nothing. Not a goddamn fucking thing. For putting up a video that I could have put anywhere between, it could be a DOS-ass video where I put 2 hours into it, including editing, or it could be one where I poured my heart and soul into it, a 12-hour plus workload, and it would, no response. Either way, it doesn't matter how good or how shit the video was, no one saw it, so it didn't matter. Doesn't mean I didn't try, I really did try, but it didn't matter either way. And now, even if I put up something that most people are not interested in, it matters. It matters. People watch it. They enjoy it. It provides them with entertainment. And now it matters. Every video matters. Not just the Ruiner ones. It's not just about Ruiner, and it especially won't be once the series ends. That's not to say I don't appreciate everything that does come from Ruiner. I love that the community is formed around this, and I love Ruiner. I don't think I can stress enough how much I love the PM universe. It's fucking fantastic. I'm excited to play Nimbus Company because I want to see what it's about. I don't understand it. It's just, like Ruiner was, in fact, it's something on my peripheral vision where I'm like, I don't understand what this is at all. There's something about ego. Okay, I know what that is, but I don't know what everything else about this game is. It's a complete mystery to me. I'm excited to check it out. But it's great to see that even the stuff that is less popular still matters. It does still matter. People enjoy the Total Warhammer series. Not many people do, but people do. People have made requests to have themselves in my campaign as lords and mages and stuff, and I put them in, and that has made recording those videos so much more enjoyable because I am attached to those lords now. Zeno is a fucking master of bloodshed, and I love him. Golbus is a sorcerer lord of decay, and the greenskins just fucking melt before him. It's fun. It adds something to know that it matters and that people care and that they may well as be as invested in their characters as I am in their characters. It's just a part of the joy, even if these videos don't get as many views as the others. It doesn't matter because it matters. It does matter. It matters to someone, ergo, it matters. It's important. And it encourages me to put as much effort into those as I do in the Ruiner videos. Now, have I put 12 hours or more worth of work into a single video that wasn't Ruiner recently? No. But that's because Ruiner is very hard, and a lot of those big fights are quite time consuming. It wasn't necessary to do that for other videos, and indeed, I don't think producing 3 hour and 45-minute videos is a good idea to do in general. I'm actually worried about putting that video up right now because it's not up yet at time of recording. I'm worried because people are going to look at it and go, holy shit, Foreman, this is 3 hours and 45 minutes. How do you expect us to watch this? And the honest answer is I don't know. And I apologize. If I could have made it sure, I would. But I don't think you realize, you probably do now, I don't think you realize how fucking abridged that footage is. How much I've cut it down. And how I sat there and combed through it for 12 hours. Cutting everything I could that didn't detract from the video itself, from the actual experience, from the actual encounter. Cutting everything I could that did not provide important details, and I bet I accidentally cut some stuff that might have been important. I bet I did do that. You guys don't tend to see how often I sit there and stare at the speed die, at the combat pages, and think, and just say ideas out loud. Because as much as many of you have said, oh, I'd love to see some of these more unabridged, and I'm sure maybe you do prefer more unabridged content, the amount of time, guys, the amount of fucking time, the length of these videos, if I did not cut them down, would be, they're already absurd. Most YouTubers do not publish videos that are an hour or more every single day, but I do, because that's the style that I've come to do, and it's what I prefer. But if you think they're long now, you have no idea how long they would be if I did not cut them down, if I did not painstakingly snip and cut and just pulling seconds out here and there, 8 seconds there, 3 seconds there, 5 seconds there. Sometimes I get lucky, I can pull out a minute or two, but that's not quite as common, but just snipping it down as much as I can to make it flow as quickly, as smoothly as possible, not always successfully, but pruning, so much pruning of the footage to try and get it at what I would deem to be, or could at least be considered, an acceptable length, or at the very least have a decent flow. It's hard. But, once again, as much as it sounds like I'm complaining, I do it because I want to. I do it because it results in a video I like, a video I'm proud of producing, something I'm happy to put out into the world, and it matters, and it counts. And the effort shows. It seems to show because people enjoy them, and that is just more reason to put in the effort. I would love to get an editor to do the editing for me someday, because as much as I do enjoy making videos, editing is not my favorite part of the process, let me tell you that for free. But A, I don't make nearly enough money to pay for an editor. Anyone who edited for me right now would be basically working as a charity case. And second of all, I worry that if I did bring an editor in, they wouldn't quite be able to do it the way that I do. Also, I think they'd freak out when they realize how large these blocks of footage are, and it's like, yeah, one of these has to go up every day, so crack on, I suppose. Maybe someday in the future, if I do make a sufficient amount of money, I can pay someone and actually give them the money they deserve to do that kind of work, but as it currently stands, it's going to be me for the foreseeable future editing all of these, and that's fine, but it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, but it's time well spent. At least, I feel it is. I will call it here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need to drag this out for too long. After a 3 hour and 45-minute video, if you are someone who, bless your heart, actually follows every upload I make, maybe a shorter one might just give you a little bit of breathing room. You probably haven't even finished Ruiner Part 4 yet, unless you skip ahead, which I guess some people do. Each to their own, I suppose. But, yes, as I said before, I'm going to be taking the weekend off. I plan to have a video up on Monday, but we'll see. If I'm really hungover Sunday, I'm not sure if a recording is a good idea, but maybe I'll just play something a bit more relaxed and, you know, it would be kind of another DOS video like this one, and then the following day would probably be the wrap-up of Ruiner, so that'll be something. But, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, genuinely. Thank you so much for listening to this, but also thank you so much for just watching in general. It's thanks to you that I can really, really feel that these videos matter. I can really... I don't know, it's thanks to you that they have this feeling of importance to them, that my hard work feels like it's going somewhere. And that in of itself is probably the greatest gift any of you could give me. So, thank you for that, I greatly appreciate it. Here's to no more 3-hour and 45-minute videos in the nearby future. God hoping, God willing, I fucking beg. It's too much work. Too much work! Special thanks to Adash Sanjeev, Alkir, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Alias, The Old Man River, Lord Scullington, Jessicissy, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Cow, The Frostbite, Monsoon, Some World, Jumping with Joy, Warmaster, Oku, SCP-106A, Namad, and KT800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. I'm in a good place. I've been in a good place for a while, but I feel especially optimistic today. It's been a cracking birthday so far. It's not even 1 PM yet. It's just about to turn 1 PM. But it's been great. I've got a lot of snack food. I'm looking forward to putting up this Ruiner video as much as I am dreading everyone's response to how long it is. And just looking forward to doing more stuff in the future. I'm going to be sad when Ruiner is over, but I'm looking forward to doing other stuff after that. So... even the downs come with ups. It's just all generally quite good. I'm excited, and I'm very grateful for you all to be here to allow me to enjoy this. Thank you once again. Whatever happens next time, and I have no idea. I have no idea what I've got planned for next time. I don't know what the next video would be. It's just as much of a mystery to me as it is to you. We'll see. But whatever happens, hope I see you there. Doodles. Goodbye.